What's up, marker heads? It's Karen from Art by Karen E. Haley, and today I'm bringing you the letter D for Dinosaur, which is the third video in my alphabet series. I did not make a letter A video. A few of you guys asked, and I did not record the letter A because I didn't have my camera at the time. So I just wanted to clear things up. There won't be a video for Alpaca, which is the illustration I did for letter A. However, I have really enjoyed working on this piece, and I'm very excited to show this one to you. I kind of am emulating Bob Ross a lot in this picture. I really love Bob Ross, and I always have ever since I was a little kid. I kind of grew up on his stuff, so I really try to put a little bit of his advice into all of my artwork. And I don't know if it shows or not. I'm not using the same medium as he is, but I still really love his work. And I don't know, we just, they did a Bob Ross stream, and they've been doing Bob Ross streams every Monday. So he's kind of been on my mind lately, and Bailey J was talking about him in her vlog, and so it's just like, it's just a lot of, like, I really enjoy his work, and I miss him very much, and I wish that I was alive when he was alive, because it would have been really cool to meet him, but unfortunately he has passed away, and it makes me very sad, but he has touched the lives of a lot of people, so I mean, he was a really wonderful painter, and I don't know, that's just my little blurb about Bob Ross. But yeah, a lot of people ask why I work top to bottom, and it's partially because it's easy for me to do it that way, and a lot of it's because that's how I learned, is because that's how Bob Ross would work. He would start at the top and work down. And I just kind of picked up on that. I don't always work top to bottom, but a lot of the times I do, especially when I'm doing a piece that has a distant background like this one. So this picture is a dinosaur picture, and the horizon is a jungle scene, and that's something I've never really done before, so I had to look up a lot of reference for that, and I noticed there's a lot of mist in the jungly pictures that I looked at, and I really thought that was a cool look, especially since that's something that Bob Ross would do a lot in his paintings, and so I tried to do that in my own I would draw the plants from the top, and then I would blend out the bottom with a much lighter color and try to emulate that there was a lot of mist there between the different layers of hills and trees and things like that. So this was a really fun piece for me to do. I learned a lot about drawing rocks in this illustration, and part of that was I watched a Bob Ross episode where he was painting rocks in a river, and I was like, light bulb! Like, that's how I could do it with marker. And so I tried it out in this piece. What I did was I laid in the grass layer and then drew rocks right on over the grass, and right into the water line, and then I shaded them with the chisel nib, and it's like, that's what the chisel nib is for. So, yeah, I put some round rocks in with the brush nib, and then for the more jaggedy rocks, I used the chisel nib. And I think that this piece turned out like it was very beneficial because I learned a lot while I was working on it. There are some things that I wish would have turned out differently. For instance, I tried to shade the dinosaur with the same color as the grass, which was a bad idea, because then I had to darken the whole dinosaur, and he just didn't look the way I wanted him to. I wanted him to be a very cute, like, yellowy green pastel color, the way he is now. Like, his form is a very yellowy pastel form, and I wanted that to be what he looked like. And then when I shaded him, his shading was the same value as the grass, and so he blended in way too much. And what I should have done in retrospect, is made the grass darker. I feel really kind of like, duh, I should have done it that way. But I darkened the dinosaur instead. And I did darken the grass a little bit, but I really should have pushed the dark color even further. Unfortunately, I did not, and so it did not turn out the way that I wanted it to. You'll see that I put in some rapids. Those are emulating another artist that would paint on OPB. She would do like acrylic and watercolor paintings, and I cannot remember her name, but she was this wonderful older woman who she did beautiful paintings. And when she did a painting with rapids and waterfalls, she would say she would explain how to make the curve of the water very gradual and not to curl under, because water doesn't really curl under when it's going over rapids that are not that steep. And so it was really interesting to think back on that video and think, oh, maybe I can try that with my Copics. And I don't know, that's why I really enjoy watching televised paintings, because they're what they talk about with their mediums can be applied in some ways to Copics. I do apologize, I seem to be losing my voice, and I'm not really sure why, because I'm not sick or anything, I must be very thirsty. So here I am trying to darken the grass by using the same blue color that I used to shade the dinosaur, and it just did not turn out the way I wanted it to. The whole dinosaur fiasco was kind of disappointing. I wound up making him very, very dark using grays and greens. And that's not what I wanted to do, but I did learn something when I was coloring him, is that if you crisscross your strokes by going across him one way with a light, first by coloring him over with your base color, which in my case was that mid-tone bright green color, and then letting that dry and then crisscrossing him with like a very light color, I was able to make kind of like a scaly effect on his face. And I think I'm gonna try that again, maybe on a Pokemon or, I don't know, another dinosaur, and see if that works with darker colors or lighter colors, because it turned out looking very nice. Now with the water, I wanted originally to have his reflection, like looking back at him, but I was starting to get pressed for time, for one, and I also felt like I didn't want to detail the water very much. I wanted to keep it kind of loose looking because the water was moving so fast that it probably wouldn't really reflect his face, especially since there's a lot of rocks in that water there. I was thinking that it would probably not be reflecting very much detail. And so I was like, well, now what is he going to be looking at? And I decided to add some fish under the water, and this is something I was hoping to do in a video, or in an artwork, and I'm really happy that I thought to do it in this one, because it's kind of neat how I made the fish look like they were underwater by avoiding coloring in the white areas that were crisscrossing the water. Unfortunately, I didn't linger on there very long, so you don't get to see it. But there the fish are, and there's the dinosaur. And the rocks, I really love the way the rocks turned out in this piece. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this drawing. I want to thank everyone who has pledged to me on my Patreon page. It hasn't even been a few days yet, and I'm already nearly reached my first milestone goal, which is $100 per month. And that's really awesome, because that will mean that I will dedicate myself to a bi-weekly schedule of videos. I mean, I know I've been putting out a lot of stuff recently, but I kind of do that in spurts. But if I reach this goal, then I will for sure do this every other week, post a video. And so I'm really looking forward to maybe reaching that goal, and thank you so much for the patronage that you guys have given me.